Gentlemen, welcome back to the mess of the other desk, and we've got my big flying wing up here. Now, just to give you an idea on the size of this beastie, she is a bit of a porker. We'll measure that up about there, and it is 52¼ inches wingspan. Now, the reason for this video is that I would absolutely love some of your input on this model, and the piece which I am struggling with is this center section, because if I just move some of these components up out of the way, is this battery and kind of like nose area is starting to concern me. Now, the reason why it's starting to concern me is because I'm going to have some expensive kit on the front of this. So I'm going to run with the run cam. Hey, that's the way it came out. Anyway, I'm going to run with the run cam on the front of the nose. And I was also going to use the run cam owl up here on the nose, or the Swift. I haven't really decided which one I was going to go for, because I really like the run cam owl. And I might just use it in this configuration so I can stick it on any of the models as I wish. But put it this way, it's going to be a run cam owl or a run cam Swift. I'll get to me point, which is that that's not cheap. So that's 38 quid, or we'll call it 40 quid. That's 70 quid. So there's £110. So about $170 right on the nose, with a great big weight sat behind it. So in the event of a unscheduled landing, is that it's all going to get a bit squashed, which I would obviously like to avoid. So this is the point of this video, is that I want to try and protect that kit as best I can. And also I am a little bit wary of digging down into the body of this model any further. I think I will go down a little bit further in here. And what I'm thinking is that that isn't like the most aerodynamic of shapes ever conceived on the front of the blunt nose section. And what I was thinking is that I've got some of this red and white, and I've also got some green core flute available to me. And what I was thinking is that, do I have a piece of paper kicking around? So yeah, I'll use a piece of paper just to show you. Is that what I was thinking is that if I made a wrap up around the nose out of the core flute, so I had the core flute tubes running horizontal to the nose piece, made a wrap up around like that, is that number one, I would feel a lot more comfortable taking that battery down further into the main blunt nose piece. Number two, it would give a really nice skid on the bottom. And number three is that if I folded that over, but you imagine that core flute being quite a nice big length, that perhaps I could make a nice big wrap around to go over the top, and then maybe put a couple of thumb screws in there. But do I do it so I just have the core flute going over the top with maybe 2 thumb screws which I've been in embedded? Or do I do it and then maybe, where's the Raven wing? If I grab this. So if I grab the Raven flying wing, you'll see what I did there on the nose and made it into like a mantis with these outside pieces. Is that, would it be a good idea to create some fins to come up here on the front? And just get, maybe that would give it a little bit of extra crash resistance on the very front of the nose. So that's my question really. What would you do in this situation? What would you do if it was your 110 quid sat on the front of your model? What would you do to try and, not necessarily, yeah, to number one, to protect your kit, which is sat on the front, and what would you also do for ease of access? So I do want to be able to get in here. I want to be able to get in here and change the battery, obviously. I would want to be able to get in here to turn the run cam on and off. And I also do need to get in here to get a USB lead into the Pix Racer, which is going to be my flight controller in the middle of there. And also, how do I keep it aerodynamic? If I did create some of those fins coming out the front, would that help the model track through the air? Because I was only going to make some small winglets either side, not particularly big. So would the extra, where's the Raven? I'll use it in this example. So imagine this is a baby version. So would these extra pieces coming up and around, would that help with the aerodynamics to keep the wing going in a straight line? I don't know. What would you do with this situation? And again, I'm just being open and honest here. I'm not 100% sure. So that's my idea, is to wrap some core flute around the nose like so, and then create put like 2 plastic butt nuts or bolts in there so I can hold it down so it's everything in here stays nice and secure. But then do I put the fins on the side? Can you think of a better way of ensuring everything stays put in here and is a little bit weatherproof as well, so that if we do go through a patch of rain, and by the way, the maiden of the Raven was in the rain, of all things, we had to cut the flight short because it started tipping it down. So yeah, moisture is a concern as well as protecting the contents on the front. So open question to you, what would you do if you were in my position with this model and this layout? I'd love to hear from you, and you can let me know what your thoughts or what your suggestions are in the comments section underneath this video. I would genuinely appreciate any suggestions which you have. So with that said, for myself, Matt, thank you ever so much for taking the time to watch this video, and I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you ever so much. Oh, and as normal, for myself, Matt, cheerios!